The next-gen star has got everybody talking at the Miami Open with his latest run. Felix Auger-Aliassime, photo by Chrysaline Caio, copyright at Sport Vision, playing in the main draw of a Masters 1000 event for the fifth time in his career. Rising star Felix Auger-Aliassime is a win away from reaching the quarterfinals of the Miami Open. The 18-year-old qualifier continued his recent surge in form on Sunday with a 7-6, 5, 6-4 win over Hubert Hurkacz. Another next-generation star who is just over 3 years older than him, saving all 3 break points he faced during the match. The victory is the latest boost for Auger-Aliassime and his blossoming career. Within the past month he has reached his first ATP final at the Rio Open and stunned top 10 player Stefanos Tsitsipas in Indian Wells. At the start of this year I was just outside the top 100, just aiming to squeeze into the top 100 over the next few months. And then everything went so fast from there and I was able to keep on playing well, the next-gen star said during an interview with the Tennis Channel. Auger-Aliassime has long been considered a rising star of the sport following his successful junior career. At the age of 14 he won his first main draw match at challenger level at the 2015 Granby Open in Canada. He is also a former US Open boys champion and currently has 4 challenger titles to his name. As a result of his latest success in Miami, the teenager will break into the world's top 50 when the rankings are updated next week, becoming the first player born after 2000 to achieve the milestone on the men's tour. After Indian Wells I was close to the top 50, but those last few spots are tough to get. To get it all ready this week is so special, he said. Auger-Aliassime is among a group of young Canadian players making their name on the tour. Denis Shapovalov is the second youngest player in the top 100. Meanwhile, on the women's tour Bianca Andreescu is in the middle of a 10-match winning streak after stunning the draw to win the Indian Wells title. Something that inspires her male compatriot. It goes through my head, obviously, why not? But obviously it's a different level, different things. Auger-Aliassime comments of Andreescu's success. At the same time it gives us a lot of belief. For Denis, for me see what Bianca did was great. I was super excited as well this week for her. Hopefully I'll be able to repeat something like that, he added. Federer impressed embed from Getty Images. The rise of the Montreal-born player hasn't gone unnoticed by his rivals, particularly 20-time Grand Slam champion Roger Federer, who compares him to the likes of Rafael Nadal. The two had previously trained together at Federer's base in Dubai. I saw what he has special when I trained in Dubai with him, Federer told Radio Canada. Unfortunately, he injured himself there in training. I like his attitude. For someone who is young like him, it's impressive. We've seen it in the past with Leighton Hewitt or Rafael Nadal, guys who are already mentally strong. I think we can put him a bit in that category. It is the maturity of the world number 57 that has impressed many. Recently saying during an interview with ATPTour.com that he isn't afraid of losing, it is that growing maturity that is aiding his rise in the sport. I think over the weeks you win, you lose, you learn, he said. I think a lot of things got better. My serve, my fitness, finishing the points at the net and being more calm. I've improved a lot. The question remains how great Felix Auger-Aliassime can become. In the history of men's tennis, Milos Raonic is the only Canadian to have ever reached a Grand Slam final at the 2016 Wimbledon Championships. Raonic, who is 28, has won 8 ATP titles so far in his career. The way he's able to accelerate the forehand, the backhand and the first ball is something that will be important to him in the future, Federer commented. After, his footwork is excellent too. He even manages to slide on the hard. Auger-Aliassime will play 17th seed Nicolas Basilashvili in the 4th round of the Miami Open on Tuesday. It was a tough day at the office for the world number 1 in Miami. Novak Djokovic, photo by Crislin Caio, copyright at Sportvision. Top seed Novak Djokovic has secured his 44th main draw win at the Miami Open after downing Argentine world number 83 Federico Del Bono 7-5, 4-6, 6-1, in the third round on Sunday. The world number 1 came through what was a challenging encounter on the stadium court. Besides the spirited play from an inspired Del Bonis, the Serbian also expressed unhappiness with the conditions, voicing frustration at why the lights weren't turned on as day turned into night. On top of that, he was also bemused by some questionable line calls. Nevertheless, he prevailed by hitting a winner-error ratio of 12-19. I thought I started well at 5-2, then I had a couple of really bad service games that got him. Del Bonis back into the match, Djokovic reflected during an interview with Amazon Prime. Again at 7-5, 3-1, serving with new balls I was playing too passively. Credit to him for swinging through the ball from the back of the court, he was dictating the play. I backed up, I was too passive, seeking a record 7th title in Miami. Djokovic didn't have it all his own way. After easing to a 5-2 lead with a very businesslike display, the world number 1 came under a barrage of world-class shots from across the court. Del Bonis, who has previously scored wins over Roger Federer and Andy Murray, hit a series of sensational shots to draw level at 5-5. However, the Argentine was unable to sustain such a high level of play against a player of Djokovic's caliber. In the end it was an error-stricken Del Bonis game that gifted the top seed the 7-5 lead. In the lead, it was evident that perfectionist Djokovic wasn't entirely happy with his performance. Emulating the opening set, in the second he saw a break advantage come and go. This time, however, Djokovic's temper got the better of his as he smashed up his racket, resulting in the umpire issuing him with a code violation. Meanwhile, info at Joe's Morgado, movie camera at Tennis TV. The 15-time Grand Slam champion continued to fight, but he was denied the opportunity to dictate the points, resulting in Del Bonis snatching the second set to take proceedings into a decider. Facing the prospect of a shock defeat, danger was eventually averted at the expense of a sluggish service game from Del Bonis that guided Djokovic to a 4-1 lead. Unlike earlier in the match, he refused to relinquish his stronghold, storming to the win against his rapidly tiring opponent. I was nervous towards the end of the second set, the 6-time champion admitted afterwards. The first couple of games at the start of the third was crucial, I think. Managing to hold, putting myself in front during the match, added slightly more pressure on him. The last 4 games was the best of the match. Djokovic now has a shot of revenge in his 4th-round match against Roberto Bautista Agut on Tuesday. The player who defeated him at the Doha Open earlier this year, the Spaniard booked his place in the last 16 following a 6-4, 6-4 win over Fabio Fognini earlier in the day. He's in great form and a completely different player from Del Bonis, Djokovic said of Bautista Agut. Plays really flat, doesn't give you many unforced errors. He's really fit and runs around the court really nicely from both sides. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously I got to play better than tonight, and hopefully I can have a win. He added. In their head-to-head, Djokovic leads 7-2. The world number 3 battled on the court for almost 3 hours before securing a place in the 4th round. Simona Halep, photo by Crislin Caio, copyright at Sportvision. Second seed Simona Halep has kept her chances of returning back to world number 1 alive after outlasting Slovakia's Polona Hercog 5-7, 7-6, 1, 6-2, in a marathon third-round encounter at the Miami Open. Halep, who was also troubled by an injury issue throughout the match, struggled to dictate the clash due to some inspired play from her rival. Hercog has only defeated one top 10 player in her career and hasn't been ranked in the world's top 50 since 2012. Nevertheless, Halep was pushed to her limits as she rallied from a set down. hitting 20 winners, but a costly 39 unforced errors. It was a tough match. She played unbelievable, Halep said during her on-court interview. I think both of us played much better in the end than at the beginning. I'm really happy with this victory. It means a lot. The fact I stayed there, running like crazy for 3 hours. It makes me happier and more confident. On paper, Halep was the clear favorite to win. During her career, the reigning French Open champion had earned almost $26 million in prize money than her opponent and 16 more WTA titles, 18-2. Nevertheless, it was the Romanian that was on the back foot throughout the opening set. Lacking energy initially, Halep's patchy play was rightfully punished by her cog's ability to mix up her shots with both aggression and slice. Besides facing a determined opponent, the second seed also required a medical timeout 5 games into the match, requiring tape on her left knee, which was causing her some discomfort. However, visually she was still able to run and move freely around the court. There were glimmers of Halep's top form as her grunting decibels rose en route to retrieving a break to level 4-4. Despite the mini-resurgence, a calm her cog continued with her offensive, pushing Halep around the court with a clever use of angle shots and some sublime defensive play. Something she illustrated perfectly in the 11th game to break once again for the opportunity to serve the set out. A task she achieved with the help of a Halep backhand plowing into the net, prompting a roar of "come on" from the Slovak. Embed from Getty Images. Halep's frustrations continued with the smashing of her rackets on the ground. Every time it looked as if the former world number 1 was gaining in momentum, she was denied by some audacious play by her cog, who clawed her way back from a 3-5 deficit in the second frame. It was in the tiebreaker where Halep finally got the breakthrough she desired. Elevating her aggressive play, she powered her way past her cog to take proceedings into a decider, prompting an almighty cheer from her fans in the crowd. Avoiding becoming the latest high-profile casualty at the Hard Rock Stadium, Halep continued to battle towards the finish line against her tiring opponent. A decline in her cog's form paved way for her to break twice during the decider to close in on the victory. Serving for a place in the 4th round, Halep closed the match out with a love game that concluded with a forehand cross-court winner. Slowly I'm finding my rhythm again. The fact I'm not giving up any points means a lot. It gives me confidence to go through and believe that I can win every match I play. The 27-year-old evaluated about her latest performance. If I have this feeling like last year, when I finished at number 1, I have to keep doing this. If I keep doing this, I think I have a chance to be back to world number 1. Halep is one of 2 players that has a shot of dethroning Naomi Osaka from the top of the rankings in Miami. To do so, she needs to reach the final to have a chance. Next test for the Romanian comes in the shape of 38-year-old Venus Williams, who made her Miami debut back in 1997. The American encountered little difficulty during her 6-3, 6-1 win over Daria Kasatkina. Williams is a 3-time Miami champion, but last won it back in 2001. Halep is tied at 3-3 in her head-to-head with Williams, but has won their 3 most recent meetings on the tour, including the Australian Open earlier this year. Sunday will see Novak Djokovic, Venus Williams, Simona Halep, and both defending singles champions take to the court. Daria Kasatkina, photo by Crislin Kayo, copyright at Sport Vision. On Saturday, the tournament lost many top players, including both Serena Williams and Naomi Osaka. Serena withdrew due to a knee injury, while Osaka was upset by Su Wei-Shea. On the men's side, Roger Federer survived a scare from Radu Albot, and was likely to face Stan Wawrinka in the next round. But Stan didn't make it that far, as he was upset by Filip Krajinovic despite having a big lead in the 3rd set tiebreak. And then David Ferrer, who will retire later this spring, shocked the 2nd seed, Sasha Zverev. There's been so many upsets on the American hard courts this month. Will that trend continue today? Daria Kasatkina, 14, vs. Venus Williams in bed. From Getty Images. The 21-year-old Russian holds a 2-1 record over Venus, winning both of their previous hard-court matches. Venus's only victory came at Wimbledon in 2016, where she prevailed 10-8 in the third. All three of their meetings have gone the distance. Their contrast of styles makes for grueling, compelling matches. After a breakout year that saw her enter the top 10 for the first time, Kasatkina has been struggling mightily in 2019. She's just 3-6 on the year, and her 3 wins are over players ranked well outside the top 100. Venus, on the other hand, has been competing very well of late, with 6 wins over the past 3 weeks alone. Those wins include her big upset of Petra Kvitova in Indian Wells, and her defeat of Carla Suarez Navarro just 2 days ago. Venus feels extremely comfortable playing in Miami, with a career tally of 66 wins at this tournament. Based on that history, as well as recent form, Venus is the favorite here. Hubert Hurkacz vs. Felix Auger-Aliassime in bed. From Getty Images. This third-round match is between two of the ATP's hottest players in 2019. Both are young, rising stars on the brink of breaking into the top 50 in the world. Hurkacz is coming off a quarterfinal run last week in Indian Wells, where he defeated 3 top 30 seeds, Kei Nishikori, Denis Shapovalov, and Lucas Pouille. On Friday in Miami, the 21-year-old from Poland upset Indian Wells champion Dominic Thiem in straight sets. His playing style has been compared by many to that of Andy Murray's. On the other side of the net will be an 18-year-old Canadian who is also playing with a lot of confidence. Auger-Aliassime made the final last month in Rio de Janeiro, then upset Stefanos Tsitsipas in Indian Wells. He had to come through qualifying to get into this event, and already has 4 wins this week including those qualifying rounds. Felix has easy power, and is extremely quick around the court. These two have never met before, so I'm curious to see how the first of what will likely be many future encounters will play out. The winner may be the more physically and emotionally fresh player on this day. I'm just not sure who that will be. Auger-Aliassime has already played 11 sets of tennis this week, while Hurkacz is coming off the biggest win of his career. This should be a good one. Other notable matches on Day 7 in bed. From Getty Images. 6-time Miami champion Novak Djokovic, 1, vs. Federico Del Bonis, who only has 7 Miami Open match wins in his career. Simona Halep, 2, vs. Polona Hercog, LL. Hercog won the only time they've ever played, at a 100K event nearly 10 years ago on clay. 2018 Miami champion Sloane Stephens, 4, vs. Tatiana Maria. Stephens would lose almost 20% of her ranking points with a loss today. 2018 Miami champion John Isner, 7, vs. Albert Ranos Vinolas. Isner would fall out of the top 10 with a loss today.